Hey, I'm Jesse Hunt with Unofficial. We're a web design and digital marketing agency located in downtown Memphis. Since 2002, I've been helping Mid-South businesses just like yours improve their websites and find more customers on the internet. Today, I'm going to perform a video website audit on your website that'll show you some areas for improvement that might be hurting your business. The entire audit will take 15 to 20 minutes and should leave you substantially more informed about what's working and what's not working so well on your website. I hope you'll find the audit informative and that you'll keep me in mind if you ever need some help working on your existing website or building a new one. Thanks a lot for watching. Let's get started. Hey Amy, so here we are on the home page of your website. As you can see, we're at www.naturalmemphis.com. And what I'm going to do is run through your website real quick, hit on a few of the different pages, provide you with some feedback about what I'm seeing here, just kind of my overall observations as I'm clicking through the website. I will say, I mean no offense by anything. I'll try to point out things that I see that you're doing really well. I'll also point out things that I think could be improved, and never mean to hurt any feelings whenever I do any of this. Just I feel like the audits are a lot more useful if I'm open and honest. From there, we'll click over, we'll look at some tools that Google gives us and see what they think about your website. We'll look at some search engine rankings and see how you're doing there. Take a look at your Facebook page, and then we'll probably come back to your website and look at a couple technical behind-the-scenes kind of things before we wrap up. So when I land on your website, the first thing I notice is this picture that scrolls through some different photos here. I think that's good. Seems to represent kind of the natural lifestyle that you guys are writing about and promoting, so I think that's a good thing. I don't really like the font that you used on the navigation here. It feels a little hard to read and kind of inconsistent with the rest of the fonts through the websites. And in fact, I would say one of my biggest critiques that I've noticed design-wise throughout the website is just so many different fonts. As I click through here, you know, you've got one font here and a different font here and another one here, and then this is different, and then, you know, from here to here to here, all these are different fonts, and then the font changes again here and here. So it's it feels like maybe the website needs more of a defined kind of templated font style, so that it keeps everything more consistent throughout the website design-wise. I like that you've got your social media icons here. Definitely think that's a good thing. I went to your Facebook page earlier. Let's test these real quick and make sure that these work. Yep, Twitter works. And sorry, they're loading. My internet's acting a little silly today. Yep, Pinterest works. And Instagram works. And then your pets page works. So that's all good. All those work good. As I scroll down through here, calendar of events, that's good. I like everything there. I think the content of your website is really good. Overall, I think the design maybe just looks a little dated. If you agree with me there, then maybe it's time to look at refreshing the design and kind of updating it and making it look a little more current. But I noticed you've got articles and information here. I think one of the things that I noticed, I'm going to kind of jump ahead here to Facebook. I scroll through your Facebook feed, and you've got the survey post and more survey posts, and then constant contact article and constant contact. There's really not much information being shared from your website. I noticed that you've got 1,100 people that like your page. And given the subject matter and the size of Memphis, and just the overall size of your audience, that seems like a really small following. I think you're probably missing out on a pretty massive opportunity to drive traffic back to your website through your Facebook page, which is something that we've done quite a bit of in the past with publishing content on the internet and then using Facebook to drive traffic. Facebook can really drive massive traffic numbers if you use it properly. I think from here, what I've noticed is it says, for now, visit our past issues, and you click here, and then it takes you over to this Udo website, and people have to log in order to see it. One recommendation, I don't really know what I'm suggesting here as far as whether you can do this and whether this is something that you would even be interested in, but I see that you date back all the way to 2010, but none of that content is accessible from your website. You've got this content on YouTube, but you can't get to it without logging in. I really think it would be awesome if you started taking some of your old articles, posting them in a blog on your website, and then sharing that content to Facebook. I realize you don't want to cannibalize your magazine readership, so I don't think you necessarily want to post the current month's articles. But if you're posting past articles to your website that are still relevant, I think you could really drive oodles and oodles of traffic to your website through Facebook, Twitter, probably even Pinterest and other social media, not to mention the benefits that would have to your search engine optimization, so that you're able to make your website show up for just tons and tons and tons of keywords that relate to the content that you're publishing. I think by creating a blog and sharing that content on a regular basis on your website, you could really beef up the viewership on your website. And I assume, based on what I'm seeing, that most of your income probably comes from advertising in the magazine, and I don't really see much advertising on the website, and so that's probably a missed opportunity to upsell and cross-sell your current advertisers to be able to sell them advertising on your website. And if you had massive traffic to show them, if you could show them, hey, we get 100,000 visitors a month to our website, then it becomes pretty easy to sign up some of those advertisers that are already paying you to advertise in your magazine to advertise on your website as well. So that's probably one of my my big recommendations there is figure out how to repurpose that old content. It's been used. It's really not doing you any good there in the archives of your old issues. How can you repurpose that content, plug it into your website, use it in a blog or a section like that, and then benefit from that traffic by selling advertising on it and increasing the revenue there. Or I notice you've got a natural store as well. If you've got content that talks about some of the products that are in that natural store, then when you publish that information in your blog, you link over to that product in the natural store, and you're able to increase your online sales as well. So those are the kind of things that I'd be looking at. How can you do that with your website? All right, click over here. I'm going to look. This is a tool that Google provides to web developers. It's called the Mobile Friendly Test. And as you can see, I've already plugged in your website address here. Google says, awesome, this page is mobile friendly. I won't talk too much about that other than to say Google really values websites that are mobile friendly. So good job there. Because you're doing a good job there, though, I won't talk too much about the advantages of that. So we'll go ahead and close that. The other thing I see here on your Facebook page before I close this tab, in addition to encouraging you to add more content to your website that you can then share on your Facebook page, because you've only got 1,139 followers, you might consider, especially if you're going to take my advice and incorporate more content onto your website, and then kind of start with that social media strategy to begin driving traffic back to the website. You might also consider running some Facebook ads targeting more people in the Memphis area that are into the healthy lifestyle, the organic lifestyle. Facebook really gives you the ability to target very, very specific interest groups, and I think you might be surprised how little it could cost you to increase your following there. I've built quite a few Facebook pages in the past that got up to many thousands of people without spending a whole lot of money per like. I would assume that in this niche you could probably increase your likes at a rate of, I don't know, 10 to 20 cents a piece or something like that. So I don't know, if you set up a budget of $2 to $5 a day in a matter of just a few months, you'd have a pretty large following that you could then drive back to your website and use that to be able to show your advertisers more bang for their buck for advertising on your website. I'm going to close that up here. Next thing, I just searched a few keywords that I felt like you ought to be showing up in the search engines for, and really overall for these really general keywords that I searched, you're doing very well. Natural Living Memphis, you're in the #1 spot. Healthy Living Memphis, you're about halfway down the first page. So while it would be great to see you move up that list, and we could probably help you do that if that's something that you'd like to discuss, I think you're doing pretty well there. Green Living Memphis, you're showing up #1. Natural Lifestyle Memphis, you're showing up #1. Now, certainly there are just oodles and oodles and oodles of niche keywords that would require some research and kind of nailing down what the right keywords are. And I think a lot of that would really come down to flipping through your magazine, your past magazine issues, figuring out what you've written about before. You know that your audience likes the content that you're producing in the magazine, so you might as well be focusing on the same things on your website that you're focusing on there. So from there, you can kind of figure out what those keywords are, but it all goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If you produce more content, especially if you're producing content on the website that comes from past issues of your magazine, you're kind of going to take care of that anyway. So incorporating a blog, republishing that old content, kind of comes full circle, and it'll help you back in your social media strategy as well as in your search engine results. All right, so back to your home page here. I'm going to click on this little utility that I've got installed on my browser here. This is called the Google Tag Assistant. This scans your website and checks to see if you have any Google tags installed. As you can see here, it shows 0 tags in total, so you don't have any on your website. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping to find a tag called Google Analytics. Now, what Google Analytics does is it monitors your website traffic, and it reports back to you on how much traffic you're getting to the website, what that traffic's looking at while they're there, how many pages did they look at, how long did they hang around, and then what action did they take? Did they land on your homepage and immediately leave, or did they ultimately, did they take your reader survey, or did they go to your contact us page and fill out a contact form to get more information about advertising with you? So Google Analytics allows you to really track how much traffic you're getting and how the website's performing for your business, whether a website's doing a good job at generating a return on investment for you. So it's free software, fairly easy to install. I'd highly recommend that you install Google Analytics on your website. I'm going to look at one more thing real quick before I wrap this up. This is another utility installed here on my computer. This is called SEO Quake, and this is a page SEO audit. So just gives us a real quick rundown on how your website's optimized for the search engines. Title tag is one of the most important tags on your website for search engine rankings. You're doing well in the search engines, so I think your title tag's good, your meta description looks good. It's showing an error for image alt tags. What an image alt tag is, sometimes if you hover over an image, it'll pop up some text that describes that image, and yours doesn't seem to do that, which means you don't have image alt tags. Image alt tags are useful for a couple things. One, if you had a blind person come to your website and they were using a screen reader in order to view the website, the screen reader would read them the alt text of the images so that they can tell what those images are about. Now you might say, well, I probably am not going to have very many blind people come to my website, so I'm not too worried about that. The other advantage to alt text is Google doesn't understand pictures either. So Google uses alt text to better understand what the pictures on your website are about. So it presents a really good opportunity to incorporate some additional keywords into those alt tags and to be able to better show Google the information that they need to see in order to understand what your pictures are all about. Text to HTML ratio, this says you don't have enough text on your website. They encourage you to add more text to your website. More text is always a good thing. That goes back to pretty much what I've been talking about the whole time. Meta viewport, this is all about mobile friendliness. Google says you're mobile friendly, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. They talk about Google Analytics not being installed, which I've already pointed out, and then says your page does not utilize micro formats. Now, micro formats is a way of telling Google what information on your website's important. So it could be information like your business name, your address information, your phone number information, maybe reviews. There are a lot of different things that you can use micro formats for, but I would encourage you to add micro formats or schema data. It's a different form of the same kind of data, but it helps Google to better understand certain elements on your website. At any rate, I'm going to wrap it up right there, Amy. I don't want to take up too much of your time or overwhelm you here. If some of the things that I've talked about here are interesting to you and resonate with you, and you'd like to chat more about it, I'd love to have a chance to talk with you. Just give me a call sometime. My cell phone number is 901-491-6490. And my goal here is to become a resource for you, to earn your trust and ultimately earn your business. I would absolutely love to have an opportunity to become your go-to website and internet marketing pro. So thanks a lot for taking the time to watch. I'll get this video over to you here in just a bit, and then I'll follow up with you in a few days if I haven't heard back, just to make sure that you received it. But if you'd like to talk before then, don't hesitate to give me a call. 901-491-6490. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.